Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Sunday, December 8th, 2024. And if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my Bank Shot best bet in college hoops and my premium plays in other sports, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Had another winning day in college basketball in the premium area and cashed our Bank Shot best bet with Houston. But obviously on the Bank Shot breakdown video wasn't our best showing. We looked to bounce back. We had a nice little run before Saturday, so let's get back in the win column on Sunday. Here are the games for Sunday's college hoops card. First up, we have Maine and Fordham. This one 12 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. Maine's been a solid team this season with a 6-4 record, but they've lost all four of their losses this season have been on the road in true road games. They have one true road win against Brown by just 2 points, but other than that, a 34-point loss against Duke, 3-point loss against Quinnipiac, lost to Richmond by 4, and then most recently, their last true road game, their worst loss of the season by 13 points against Penn, which was ranked 12th in KenPom at the time. So not a great loss there. And, Maine fundamentally decent team when it comes to the turnover battle. They force a lot. They don't really turn the ball over much themselves, but I do think Fordham has a nice advantage on the glass in this game. I think shot quality-wise, Fordham is the much better team. I think we're getting a really good price with the Rams, reasonable price at home. So I'm going to fade Maine on the road right now and lay the points with Fordham. Next up, we have St. Peter's and Iona. This one's going to be a 1 p.m. Eastern start time on ESPN+. St. Peter's, we faded against Manhattan in that last game, and the Jaspers won that one outright for us, 70-67. And we mentioned, St. Peter's, shot quality-wise, offensively, just not the best team. I mean, they're taking a lot of low-percentage shots. They've been able to make them at a decent rate to start the season, but it just made sense that their offense would regress a bit. I think it continues to do so, and I like Iona in this spot. There's been big expectations for the Gales in year 2 under Tobin Anderson. We got to remember he took Fairleigh Dickinson to the tournament, and then the upset win, a 16-1 upset over Purdue. So far, not been great. I mean, last year was a losing season. This year, they're off to a 2-8 start. They played a decent schedule in terms of strength of schedule, but I still think Iona, shot quality-wise, is the better team here. I like the fact that they can compete with St. Peter's on the offensive glass. Iona is actually the better offensive rebounding team, and Iona forces a ton of turnovers. 23% of possessions for their opponents have ended in a turnover. That's a big problem for St. Peter's. They turn the ball over quite a bit, ranked 279th. So I think Iona takes this one. I think St. Peter's goes on a little bit of a losing streak. Next up, Arkansas State and Memphis. This one 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU. Memphis off to a great start this season with that 7-1 record. They're 16th in the AP polls, coming off a win over La Tech, 81-71. That's a decent mid-major school, but Memphis failed to cover the spread in that game, and they were laying a good amount of points, similar to what we see in this game. And I think it's the case again. I think Memphis wins, but I don't think they cover. I think it's too many points. Arkansas State, a really underrated team in the Sun Belt. They played a decent schedule. They played a game at Alabama, and they actually were competitive in that one, only losing by 9 points and holding Alabama to under 90 points. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a really good Alabama offense, and that was a competitive game down the stretch. Shot quality-wise is a solid team. Fundamentally, I think they'll be able to compete. They get to the free throw line quite a bit. They're good at defending the perimeter, which is important against Memphis. This is one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country, hitting a 45%, almost 46% from the perimeter this year. I'm going to take the points here with Arkansas State. Like I said, I think Memphis still wins the game, but Arkansas State covers. Next up, we have Prairie View A&M taking on Mississippi State. This one's also 4 p.m. Eastern. It'll be on ESPN+. Now, we faded Prairie View A&M in its last game against UAB, and I think this is honestly a worse spot for the Panthers as they go back on the road. Only 1 day off in between that game at UAB and this one, and Mississippi State is a much better team than UAB. Now, they are laying a lot more points than we had to lay. I think we were laying 27.5 right around there at the closing number. With the Blazers, you're laying 36.5 at the opening number with Mississippi State, but I still think they get there, win this game, and cover the number. We've seen Mississippi State not be afraid to run up the score in some of their games against inferior opponents. Already this season, a 35-point win against West Georgia, which I think West Georgia is a lot better team than Prairie View right now. The 21-point win against Southeastern Louisiana. They beat Georgia State 101-66. All three of those teams, I think, are better than Prairie View A&M and in a much better spot because like I said, another true road game. This team's been on the road all season. They had won their home opener in the beginning of the year against a subdivision team. Since then, they've been on the road every other game, and they only have 1 day off in between. They have the weakest defense right now in college basketball in Division I, the worst defensive rebounding team in the country. Mississippi State is known for getting a lot of second chance opportunities. Also, Prairie View really struggled to defend the perimeter in that game against UAB. UAB was not shooting the ball well from three until that game. They had a big day from the perimeter. I think Mississippi State has a big day from the perimeter. I just think it's a one-sided blowout for Mississippi State. I'll lay the points. Next up, we have UConn and Texas. This one's going to be 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. I do think Sunday's card in college basketball is pretty tough. I'll be treading lightly, and this is not my favorite game on the board in terms of a betting perspective, but I wanted to talk about it because I know a lot of people are going to be interested. It's a national TV game and a big matchup between two strong programs, and for me, I like UConn. I just think that this is a buy low spot for the Huskies. We saw them bounce back in a big way with the win over Baylor in that last one. Baylor, a very strong program. That was a nice win by 4 points. And, UConn has struggled away from home so far this season. They have those 3 neutral site losses. That was a very rough neutral site tournament for UConn. But I still think we got to remember, this is a team that's won the last 2 national championships. They were so dominant in the NCAA tournament last year, won every game and every round, and covered the spread in every game as well. And, we're getting 2 points with them on the road. Texas has not really been tested much this season. They had the opening game against Ohio State, which they lost by 8 points. And then the last game against NC State, which they won by 4 points, and they needed 47% from three-point range to get that job done, barely covering the numbers. So for me, I haven't been that impressed with Texas. They're on a nice win streak, but like I said, they've not played many tough teams. I think UConn's more battle-tested. I like their offense. I think shot quality-wise, they're the superior team. I think rebounding-wise, they'll have a nice advantage in this game. Texas 187th in offensive rebounding percentage. Also, Texas struggling to defend the perimeter right now. UConn is as well, but UConn takes a ton of threes. Texas doesn't really take that many threes, so I think that benefits the Huskies more. I'm going to go with UConn in this one, plus the points. You can take a money line if you want plus money, and that's where I'm leaning in this one. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pickdawgz Premium, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.